Good evening, good morning, good afternoon from wherever you are joining. So, don't panic sell your stocks. Everywhere in the world, whether you're looking at the the US stock market, or you're looking at the European stock market, or you're looking at the Nigerian stock market, everywhere is red. So, I want to tell you something about November, particularly if you're investing in the NGX. So let me tell you something about November with a story, my story, because this market moves in cycles and patterns. Even though people tend to project some kind of confidence about the market. So many times you hear people, commentators, they are so certain, they sound so confident about the market, about what the market is doing and all that. But at the end of it, the market has a mind of its own. But let me tell you something I know about November, particularly in the Nigerian stock market. For many of you in my mentorship group, the Financial Fitness Challenge, I already told you about November. And then for all of you, I need you to stick to the end of this live session because I'm going to give you specific stocks that you should watch. It might just take one or two of these stocks to give you everything, give you all the income that you need in 2026. So let me tell you why I'm very confident about that. November of 2023, I bought Gerego. Gerego is in the power energy sector. I bought Gerego, I remember, for 375 naira. So that was in November of 2023. Guess what? So that was toward the mid-November and November. Then December, January, and by the second week of February, this stock had gone from the 375 naira that I bought it to 1,115 naira. This is 2.5 months, or just say 3 months. So that's nearly, or is it 300 or 400%? Somebody can do the math. Meaning that if you put 10 million naira, if you put 20 million naira in that stock, middle of November, by February, middle of February, you had close to 80 million naira. So let me tell you something about November, why it's like that. November is typically a bear market. It's typically when the stocks, you get many of the stocks at a discount. For some reason, I don't know why, maybe people liquidate their stocks in preparation for the festive season, the Christmas season. Maybe people also liquidate their stocks because January is a school fee month. So people sell their stock. But there's something else about November and December. Why people are liquidating? The companies are getting ready to release their quarter four, which is the full year result, or the quarter four result. Many times, if a company had done very well in the first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, and they are very likely to do well in the fourth quarter, which is the full year result, by the time they release their last quarter result in November, no, I beg your pardon, in January, the prices begin to hit the roof. So traditionally, the worst time to buy stocks in the Nigerian stock market is in January. It's in January, because by this time, the companies are already beginning to release some results, their corporate actions and things like that, so by then it starts going up. So this is why November is very, very strategic in wealth building. And this is why you should not panic sell your stocks because everywhere is red. I know also that it is possible that the Nigerian stock market is reacting to Donald Trump's threat, to strike terrorists in Nigeria, to bomb Nigeria. So it is possible that some investors are pulling out of Nigeria in response to that news. It is also possible that people are pulling out of the market because of the capital gains tax which the current government has introduced, in the stock market. It is possible that that is a reason that people are doing that. And I can understand that, but personally, I think differently. You see, these prices are falling. The prices in the market of the stocks are falling does not mean that the value of the company is decreasing. It doesn't mean that the intrinsic value of the company is decreasing. They are still in business. They are still selling. They are still making money. They are still making profits. My favorite stock of all time is Presco. These guys are still in business. They are still in big business. Irrespective of bombing or no bombing, irrespective of capital gains tax or no capital gains tax. And I know that we do not have much clarity around the capital gains tax right now. And when you make decisions without clarity, those decisions are likely to be flawed. So I think that for many of us, we need to work a little bit more with our tax consultants, ask questions, really understand how these things work. Because one of the things I've understood is that it doesn't actually affect you if your turnover in the market is less than 150 million. So don't stress about that. Having said that, I tell myself that I would rather pay tax on $1 billion. I would rather pay tax on, let me say something more, I would rather pay taxes on $2 million than remain under $40,000 and not pay tax. Does that make sense to you? Is somebody getting this? So I'd rather pay tax. I'd rather earn $5 million and pay taxes than earn $50,000 and not pay taxes. Then again, don't let the fear of taxes. I know I see fear of taxes. It's a real thing. As someone in the finance space, I see fear of taxes. And I can understand because taxes can actually mess up your wealth. But there are ways around that. When you get to that bridge, you will cross it. For now, if you are still working to find stability in your finances or find stability for your family, I don't think you should be bothering about taxes that you will pay when you become rich. When you become rich, you will cross it because you will understand what the rich people do. Rich people have very smart ways that they avoid, not evade. Like my tax people would tell me, there's a difference between tax avoidance and tax evasion. Tax evasion is illegal. Tax avoidance is very legal, and the rich people use it. I was reading somewhere the other day that Dangote's, is it Dangote Cement or Dangote Refinery? He owns, if I remember the number correctly, like 85% of the Dangote Cement, but that he's holding that share, he's holding those shares, that 85%, with a shell company. So he incorporated a company in another country that has, some tax shelter. And it is that company, which is an offshore company, that owns the shares in Dangote Cement. So he doesn't pay as much tax. So he holds just a very tiny percentage in his name here, something like 0.16%. So he pays taxes on that. But he has this 85% or so that he doesn't pay taxes. So I can check the numbers. I just scanned through that article within the week. So I'm not very certain about the number, but you understand the principle I'm talking about. Don't let the fear of taxes, and I think somebody should write this down, don't let the fear of taxes keep you from creating wealth. Because there's a tendency to say, if I create it, the government will take it. So why bother create it? Let me just remain small. I think it's a big mistake. Because when you do get rich, you will find that there are ways that wealthy people do that. Bright says, I was seriously worried. Barely 2 months that I bought a lot of stocks. The bearish started. I should have waited till this moment to get them cheaper. No. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't regret. This is why I encourage people, when you invest in stocks, have a long-term view. Remember, I shared with you people my investment philosophy. When you have your investment philosophy crafted and documented, and then you are investing based on your investment philosophy, not just your objectives or your goals. Those are different things. But this one is like the organizing principles of your investing. Then when the markets behave the way they do, it won't bother you. So my investment philosophy, I have about 7-8 point investment philosophy. One of them is to have the long-term view. Don't just put in, maybe you're about to pay your rent in 3 months, and then you get your rent today. You say, oh, let me just put it in something so that in 3 months it will multiply. That's not my investment philosophy. So I have the long-term view. So there are stocks I keep buying. Like I mentioned, Presco. I keep buying. I don't sell. I won't sell. There are stocks that will outlive me, that will become part of the legacy, for the children. So I don't care how much Presco goes. I think it's like 1,450 today or so. Somebody can check and put it in the comment section. So, because that's my investment philosophy and also my investment objective for the long term. Did you know that this same Presco in 2020, the COVID year, fell to as low as 32, 36 naira a share? We're talking about just 5 years ago. 5 years ago. So if you bought 1 million shares of Presco in 2020, that would have cost you somewhere around 35 million naira. But did you know that 5 years after today, that same 1 million shares would be worth 1.45, just say 1.5 billion naira today, from 35 million to 1.5 billion. Somebody can do the math. Now, that is not adding the dividends that they have paid in the past 4 or 5 years, not adding the dividend. So if you add the dividend at least 20 naira, 20 naira a year. I think last year they paid 40 naira. This year they've already paid in the interim dividend of 10 naira. We don't know what they will declare next year, but it's likely going to be very good, meaning that you would have been having at least 100 million extra. And then imagine every year you have 40 million passive income dividends coming from that one single investment you did when everybody was afraid, when the market crashed. The all-share index in 2020 during the COVID fell to as low as, I think it's like 24,000 or something. Let me see if I can find that information. Fell to about 24,000. And but today, let me look at my report. Yeah, the all-share index during the COVID-19 year dropped. It declined to as low as 24,930. 24, just say 25,000. Today, so let me look at my stockbrokers reports today. Today, even though we're in the bear market, the all-share index closed at 148,781.9. In 5 years, it went from 25,000 to almost 150,000. So you didn't lose anything. You didn't lose anything by buying when you bought. Okay, and so don't buy with regret. Again, one of my investment philosophies is to buy what I use, to buy the things I use. So that's why I have telecommunications, because I use telecommunications. And the dividends that come from my telecommunications investment usually takes care of my data and my voice expenses through the year. So that is how investment philosophy works. It keeps you grounded when things like this are going on. So I'm investing for the long term. I don't invest in things I don't understand. I really invest in companies that I can, I'll be proud to be part of. Companies that are likely to still be here in another 20, 30, 50, 100 years after I'm gone. Okay, so when that happens, you don't bother. Ukosa says, greetings, coach. I hope I'm connected to the live chat. Yes, this is live. That's why I'm reading what you've read. Festus says, it has been long. Hope it's fine as you left us on our own alone in the dark for a while. Yeah, I had some situation that absorbed my attention and took me offline for a while, but that situation is under control. So Augustine says, yeah, like we said, don't let the fear of taxes keep you from making wealth. Yes, don't let the fear of taxes keep you from creating wealth. Queen Amina is asking, which stock market is bearish? The Nigerian stock market is bearish, and the US stock market is bearish. I haven't looked at the European stock market, but it's a general, it looks like a global trend, you know. There are bears everywhere. And then for some of you who also do crypto, you can tell that crypto has been a huge pain for the past 3 months. You know, so much dumping, so much red everywhere. Some portfolios are down by 70%, some 40%, some 50%. And so the market is like that. The market is like, so don't let the market control your emotions. And like I promised, toward the end of this, I'm going to share with you stocks that you should watch, because November is a very, very good time to set yourself up for wealth against the following year. You can literally strategize November such that by February, March, you would have made all the money for your children's school fees, for your rent, for your holidays. You would have made all of that in 1 month if you strategize very well. So all I'm saying is, do not panic about what you're seeing in the market. Do not panic about what you're seeing in the market. It's normal. The market moves in such cycles and such patterns. It does. But this is really when people set up to explode their wealth. But this is also when a lot of people, who are not too experienced in the game of investing, that's when they leave the market. Oh, they've lost so much money. Everywhere is red. They are losing money. The market is bearish. And then they quit. Only for them to see. In fact, the same year that I bought Gerego for $375, and then within 3 months it went to 1,115 because they had a good result that particular year. The same year, I got UACN for 22 naira in December. And by February, March, it had gone to 36, almost 40. So, don't sell. Use this time to look for undervalued stocks and then load up and wait. Let me use this opportunity to teach you the 4 P's of wealth. Let me use this opportunity to remind you about the 4 P's of wealth. And the reason I want to share this is so that your mind can calm down. You need a very calm mind to create wealth. You need grounded, calm, peaceful mind to be able to do that. So when you're being stressed out because of the market, and then you're listening to all kinds of influencers, this one says one thing, this another person says another thing, and all that, it just confuses you for nothing. So there are 4 P's of wealth, and you just need to follow these 4 P's. You don't. It's not complicated. It is simple. You just need to follow that this law, and you'll be good. The first P is purpose. Please type it in the comment section. Purpose. And of course, if you're just joining us, you haven't subscribed to this channel, it would be wonderful if you take a moment and do that. It doesn't cost you anything. And if you could also share it. And it would be wonderful also to get some love and get some like if you think you are getting some value here. So the first P is purpose. I want you to focus on purpose. See, let me put it this way. Purpose is the most powerful wealth attractor. Please type it in the comment section. Wealth attractor. Purpose pulls wealth toward you. Of course, I'm going to give you the remaining 3 P's because those 3 P's support the first P, which is purpose. When you're living for something, then creating wealth becomes meaningful. Otherwise, you find a lot of people who just go out there, they do anything to make money just for the sake of making money. What was the story they told me the other day? A young man stole the relative's car and sold it for a particular amount of money. True story. It was a member of the family that was telling me this. Stole the car, they sold it for an amount of money, and they headed straight to the hotel. He booked a hotel. I don't know how much he said they were paying for. Brought in girls. They were there drinking, and they said he stayed in that hotel until that money finished. That's what happens when you try to create wealth as a drifter, as someone without purpose. So you've got to have something that is the raison, the French people will call it raison d'être. Why are you here? What would make your life meaningful? What contribution are you here, to make? Because everyone here, every one of us listening to this, was made to contribute. What gap were you created to fill on the planet? That is important. You really need to define your purpose, because I'm telling you, purpose is that thing that makes you wake up every morning to keep going. It helps you to keep going, even when you try things and fail. But when you remember, I'm made for this, I'm created for this, you continue going. Even when there's no food in the house, even when there is no money for transportation, you walk because of a strength of purpose. So purpose is important. And I need you to ask yourself, to really sit down and ask yourself, why am I here? What contribution? What is it I can contribute to society, to the planet, to my community? Or even starting from your family. What are you here for? Purpose is very powerful. I meet some very passionate women, who are very, very committed to the protection of the girl child. Sometimes those women have gone through things, and then they don't want the innocent girl child to go through that. And so they do a lot to save the girl child. I know people who are very passionate about health, about healthy living. You've got to be passionate about something, because that's actually the root of money. I would actually say that purpose is like the root of money, clean money. The second P is plan. Please type it in the comment section. The second P is plan. Okay? Second P is plan. You've got to have a plan. You've got to have a plan. You see, not having a plan is the reason that you struggled to pay house rent 4 years ago. I mean, I know people who are literally like that. 4 years ago, you struggled to pay rent. You borrowed, you begged to pay rent 4 years ago. 3 years ago, you borrowed, you begged everybody to pay rent. That was 3 years ago. 2 years ago, you begged, made phone calls, borrowed, fell on your knees or something to pay rent. This year, 4 years after that, you are still doing the same thing. There are people like that. You know why? Lack of planning. Because you shouldn't go through the same thing twice. If it happens twice, it shouldn't happen the third time. But if there's something that you struggled with 5 years ago, 7 years ago, 10 years ago, 7 years ago, you are still struggling with the same thing, it's symptomatic of lack of plan. If you've been struggling to provide for your family, if you're a married man, to provide for your family. For 7 years right now, every year is the same thing. You wake up every year, there's no money. Everybody's looking at you, your wife, the children, everybody is looking at you, and nothing is happening. And you're lying down there, angry, stressed out. Every new year is the same way. It's because there is no plan. So what is a plan? Now you have a purpose. You need to add plan to your purpose. So your purpose might be, for instance, like mine is, I want to raise 1,000 unicorns who will lead the spiritual, the economic, the political, the cultural transformation of Africa, the Caribbean, and the Pacific countries. I mean, like if you wake me up at midnight, ask me, what's your purpose? I'll just give it to you like I've done. I want to raise people. My purpose is actually people. I want to meet people. I want to raise people. I want to help people believe in God and also believe in themselves. So the next thing is, what's the plan? What I'm doing this night is part of the plan. So I'm writing, I'm making myself visible on the social media, and indeed, people from the Caribbean, people from different African countries, people from Pacific countries are all reaching out. They are all reaching out. So I've got a plan. I've also got a plan that answers the question, how will I fund this dream? How will I fund my purpose? So that is what the second P does. The second P is when you sit down prayerfully, from meditation, from intuition, from inside you, you draw up a plan. You are asking, how, as I understand it at this time, can I fund this purpose? You may not have all the answers, and the plan does not need to be 100% perfect, but at least you need to have a plan. Because as you're making your plans, you're tweaking it. You are learning, you're getting feedback, you're asking yourself what's working, what's not working, and then you are tweaking it. You're getting better. So it's better to have a plan that is not too perfect than not to have a plan at all. Because lack of planning is why you continue to repeat the same financial mistakes. Is why you continue to struggle with the same financial situation year in, year out. There are people, I have met people, I'm not kidding you, who have struggled for 40 years. People I know, struggling for 40 years. 40 years. So there's something wrong. There's no plan. And then so many people, their plan basically is on other people. They make their plans based on other people's money, which is something you must never do. Make your plans based on your uncle's money, based on your brother's money, based on government money, based on... No, that's not... You don't want to make your plans based on anybody's money. You can't be making your plans based on my wallet. You know, somebody's approaching me this evening. House accommodation problems. It's not in my plan. You should have a plan. I'm asking, what is your plan? Because it's not my plan. I'm not the one responsible for your accommodation. I have so much on my shoulders. And that is why you should not make your plans based on another person's wallet. Because everyone is dealing with their own issues. Create your own wallet. Create your own money. Leave your aunt, leave your brother, leave whoever, your uncle. Create a plan. Okay? Is this helping somebody? Please type value in the comment section if you're getting value. Okay? Type value. You already possess proper planning, prevent poor performance. Fantastic. I like that. Yeah, I like that rhyme, Ladipo. That's great. Yeah, proper planning prevents poor performance. Fantastic. I like that. I'm going to borrow that. Proper planning prevents poor performance. Festus says, better to have a plan that is not working smoothly than not having one at all. Absolutely. Okay, so let's go to the third P. And remember, we are still talking about, we are still going to come back to round up with, you shouldn't panic sell your stocks. Because you can see from these 4 P's, if you have purpose, you have a plan, then you're not going to panic sell because you have a plan. And then you are going to follow your plan, not your mood. I like that. That's one reason you should have a plan, because if you don't have a plan, your mood will override. But when you have a plan, follow your plan, not your mood, not how you're feeling. Follow the plan. All right. P number 3 is process. Please type it, process. Now, a plan shows you the different aspects and elements of getting from where you are to the fulfillment of that vision, of that purpose. A process granularizes, I'm trying to look for a simpler word, granularizes the plan. So a process is so important because a process is not what you have a plan. All right. So for instance, every month I'm going to invest $20 in crypto, $30 in stocks. Okay, so that's a plan. Every month I'm going to take out 10% of my income and put in real estate investment trust. That's a plan. What is a process? A process is the habit, the automations, the routines that will make that thing possible. What's the process for investing the $10 or the $20 in crypto? What's the process? What's the process for investing the $30 in stocks? If you don't have a process, sometimes it becomes overwhelming for the mind. But if you have a process is like the path. You create a path for the plan to work. A process is like creating guardrails for the plan. A process is like the rail tracks. So you can look at the destination of a train as the purpose. You can look at the train itself as the plan. Then you can look at the tracks as the process. What's the process? What's the timetabling? Like, is it a particular day in the month that you're going to put that $20 aside to invest? So you create it into a process. And then eventually you want to create a process that works without you, that's automated. For instance, you might be using a fintech app that you give instruction to automatically deduct anything that comes into your account and send it to the investment account. Okay, so that is process. Really, really important. So process puts everything to calendar, breaks everything down. Process clarifies the plan. Process gives you the structure for the plan to work. Process says, how do you wake up? When you wake up every morning, what's the routine? What do you do? Process says, at the end of the day, I'm going to review how the day went, and I'm going to write the things that worked, the things that didn't work, what's outstanding to do tomorrow. That's a process. Okay. Now, the final P is very, very important. That final P is patience. That final P is patience. Ha! Patience is the crown of the entire thing. Patience is the crown of the entire 4-piece. Like when you finish, I don't know if it's a good one, when you finish baking a cake and then you put a crown of icing on top of it, that's what patience is. Patience is a wealth strategy. A brilliant researcher showed that over 90% of Warren Buffett's wealth came after his 65th or 66th birthday. Patience is the agency for compounding. And money loves compounding. Money just loves it when you can leave it alone to compound. Money wants to serve you. Money wants to multiply. But you see, what many of us do, imagine the farmer when he plants the corn today. First thing tomorrow morning, he goes to dig it up to check whether it has germinated. Do we have a farmer? Do we have a farmer in the room? Yeah, if we do have a farmer in the room, please indicate. Do you plant your corn today, your seed today, and then every day you go dig it up to check, how is it doing? Has the root come out? Is the cut lid on coming up yet? Do you think that seed will ever germinate? No, it will never germinate. And so that's why patience is important. The farmer plants and then waits. Okay, so the farmer plants and then waits. In the same way, the investor puts in his money and then waits patiently, trusting that money is going to do his work. Trusting that the money you invested knows what it's doing, because your money can manage the bear market and the bull market. Your money knows how to do it. So leave it alone. Be patient. And in May this year, one of the cohorts of the Financial Fitness Challenge, which is my mentorship group, by the way, if you want to be part of it, the link to join is in the description of this video. So immediately after this, feel free to join my wealth mentorship group. So I gave them a list of stocks. After some thorough research, I gave them a list of 7 stocks. I think the next class, I gave them 10. And I said, plan to hold these things, plan to hold these stocks for 3 to 5 years. They were penny stocks, because I have a particular strategy, which also, you can adopt that. I have 2 investment accounts, 2 stockbroking accounts. One, I put all the stocks I will never sell. The stocks for retirement and stocks for the big things, and then stocks that I'm going to put in my trust, in my living trust, that will continue to serve my children's children long after I'm gone. So I have that. I don't sell that, and I keep buying, whether high or low, because it's a long term. Now I have this other account, which is relatively short to medium term. So I hold for 3 to 5 years. So I find very highly undervalued stocks, especially penny stocks. And then I buy and I hold for at least 3 to 5 years. Sometimes they may jump from penny stock to one of those stocks that's like the diamond stock that will never be. And so I can just move them over, to the stocks that will never sell. Or I see them just multiply 500 times, 1,000 times. There have been stocks that did that. And I hold that for at least 3 to 5 years. And already from the time that I recommended those stocks, some of them have done 200%, some have done 300%, even within a year. But I'm not selling. I still am not selling. So I remember I bought ICO was one of them. I bought for 1 naira 60 kobo. And ICO had jumped up to 4 naira within the year. I think it's down again to 3 something. I don't know what it is today, but it's still great. It's still great. You know, I remember Kutix. I remember Consolidated Hallmark. I remember UPDC. Incredible stocks doing well. So I just let them patiently, because we're talking about the P, the third P. Patience is critical, it's the icing in the cake. So learn patience, because money loves to compound. Money loves to compound. If you can get that, it will help you. And then patience, what patience does for me is also delayed gratification, because I mustn't have the iPhone 17 today. I mustn't have the one I'm using. It's okay. It's making the calls. It's connecting the apps. It's sending the messages. It's doing the videos and the pictures. That's what I'm using to do this. It still works. So I do not need iPhone 17. It can wait. Delayed gratification. Because without delayed gratification, you won't create wealth. You won't create wealth. You might have, random successes here and there, but you're not going to build wealth long term. So wealth needs time to take root. We are not just talking about money. We are talking about wealth. It needs time to take root. And within that time of patience, that is also the time of learning, the time of mentorship, the time of soaking in knowledge, building yourself, because wealth is not what you have. Wealth ultimately is who you are. So it's who you become that now attracts the money toward you. There were times I could not charge anybody. There were times I couldn't charge when I started. I struggled to get somebody to pay me $100 for one-on-one. Real struggle. It took a while. Organizations were not willing to pay me that. But today, I do a weekend for corporate clients, and then I easily am paid $10,000 to $15,000 for a weekend of facilitating a retreat, very easily, because it's in Africa. Because over there, I certified as an executive coach in the United States. We have a group, and my colleagues over there charge as much as $50,000 and $100,000, for executive coaching. But here, our pockets are not as deep as it is in America. But I'm just saying that it took a process. It took time. It took time for me. I didn't just wake up and start commanding such fees. There is a patient process. There's learning. There is the grinding. There is the practicing. There's the demonstration of capacity. There's the demonstration of results. There's the building of your brand. And then the money starts coming. Okay, so what we're going to do in the remaining time, if you do have a comment or purpose, a comment or question, you can actually put it here. I would read it. Oh, thank you, Oladipo. Thank you for your gift of $199. Appreciate that. Okay, so what I want to do now, I have 23 powerful stocks right now that I'm watching. I'm just going to give you a few of them in the time that is left. But if you're in the Financial Fitness Challenge and you're here, please remind me in your group. I'll just screenshot all 23 and then post for you. I already started with one today. I took some time and did a lot of research today. There are jewels that will make you rich next year if you buy within this December. So, and I'm focusing for this evening, I'm focusing on the Nigerian stock market, where I think that many of you play. Oladipo says, how can I join the mentorship? The description and the link to join is in the description of this very live session. So when we are done, just go to the description section and then you will see exactly how to join. Okay, so let me give you a few. In fact, something happened today. I have not been investing. I've not been investing in the pharmaceutical, pharmaceuticals. Personal reasons, but during my research today, I saw a pharmaceutical. What I saw was amazing, so much so that what I wanted to buy, I had actually placed order to buy a particular stock. I wanted to buy a particular insurance stock. When I did this research and saw this particular pharmaceutical company, I canceled that order and bought it. Now, the interesting thing, I placed a limit order, but by the end of it trading today, that stock, this stock price had gone up. So I made an instant 8%. I didn't instant 8%. So it looks like some other people are researching this company because all of a sudden, their shares went up, but it is still undervalued. As I'm talking to you, it's undervalued. So the first one, which I would ask you, remember, this is not an investment instruction. You will still need to do your research. We always put that caveat there because investing, you need to own it. So the number one stock on my watch list this November, which is currently undervalued, is May and Baker. May and Baker. So you can type it there. I'm going to give you the full list, but let me just share a few with you. May and Baker. It's trading currently at 17 naira 60 kobo, and but the fair value from the calculations, the fair value should be 21.69. So it's currently undervalued. Now, when I look at all the indications or indicators for May and Baker, it's incredible. It's trading at a low PE ratio relative to near-term earnings growth. It's trading at a low earnings multiple, number 2. Of course, it's a prominent player in the pharmaceuticals industry. It's trading at a low revenue valuation multiple. It has had high return over the last year. It operates with a moderate level of debt. It has been profitable over the last 12 months. And it has had very high return over the last decade. And it has had very strong return over the last 5 years. This November, May and Baker it's a giveaway. It's a giveaway at the current price. So I bought today at 16 naira. You wouldn't imagine it. And then the 16 naira 3 kobo or something like that. And you wouldn't imagine it. It ended the day at 17 naira 60 kobo. So it looks like some people are already seeing what I'm seeing. So this is one of the stocks I want to accumulate. So Going by some of the experiences I've had in November, between November and January, I will not be surprised if this company goes from this 17 naira 60 kobo. I won't be totally surprised to 50 or 60 naira, or even 70 naira by February. I will not be surprised if it goes from 17 naira that it is now to 70 naira by February next year. I bought Gerego for 375, and then by January it was 1,150. I bought the same thing I did with Presco. I loaded up on Presco in November at 450 naira. The following year, Presco broke to at some point 1,500 naira. Amazing. Okay, so that's number one. May and Baker. All right. Is there a question? Please, I asked a question earlier. Please don't pass it. I don't know the question. Type it again, because I think the questions were scrolling. Bright, type your question again. Okay, so that is one. Let me see. Another one on my watch list is UPDC rights. Okay, so let me tell you about UPDC rights. UPDC right. That's Real Estate Investment Trust. So it's a real estate investment trust that invests in the real estate markets across Nigeria. The REIT was formed in 2013 and is based in Nigeria. It operates as a subsidiary of FSDH Asset Management Limited, who also happen to be one of my stockbrokers. Okay, so tips. This is amazing. It's all green. It's been profitable. UPDC REIT has been profitable over the last 12 months. It's had very strong returns over the 5 years. I love this. The liquid assets exceed short-term obligations, and it has maintained dividend payments for 12 consecutive years. This guy is possibly set up, it's possibly set up, and he said it has cash flows that sufficiently cover its interest payments. Okay, so UPDC REIT, it's currently undervalued and is trading at 6 naira 80 kobo. This is a November diamond. But like I said, it's not an investment advice. You still have to do your own research. But this is how I usually research my November investments. That normally, because if they have had some very good results in the first 3 quarters, and then by January they release the last quarter result and it's amazing, that's what shoots the price up. And then by the time they start declaring dividends and all that, the price even goes up further. So don't let what is going on in November in the market, don't let it confuse you. There are a couple more I'm looking at here. Let me see. I have C&I leasing. I have C&I leasing on my watch list as well. C&I leasing currently trades at 5 naira, so it's still a penny stock. It is currently undervalued. Its health is very good as a company. So there's a very strong likelihood that the company will be very, very profitable this year. It's been profitable over the last 12 months. So the quarter 1, quarter 2, quarter 3 results have been very good. And it has impressive gross profit margins. Okay, so this is one stock that I'm also watching. I haven't ever invested in C&I leasing for many years. but it looks like it might be a very good setup at 5 naira. Okay, so let's do one more. Let me give you one more that I'm watching. The stocks I'm watching this November. I'm watching Sovereign Trust Insurance. So let me take a look and see why I put it on my watch list. So it's currently fair value. There's a reason I put it in my watch list. It has had high return over the year. Cash flows can sufficiently cover its interest payments. The liquid assets exceed short-term obligations. So this company is quite liquid. It's had high return over the last decade, and it has strong return over the last 5 years, and is currently trading at 2 naira 86 kobo. Okay, so this is where I think I will just be able to take this 5 for now, but for the rest, if there are people in the Financial Fitness Challenge discussion groups, just send me a message and tag me in the group, and then I will do a screen capture and give to you, and then you can also watch these stocks. Okay, Bryce said, I use Bamboo app, but it doesn't give room for buying public offer stocks. Does Atlas Portfolio do that? And does Atlas Portfolio have app or only on desk phone? I don't know. Are you in the mentorship group? Okay, yeah, because these questions are the sort of things that we deal with there. If you're in the mentorship group, Bright, please ask this question there. Atlas Portfolio does not have app. It's on the web, okay, and it's called City Trader. Kuyo says, is it not possible you share your screen with us? No, it's not. I don't believe that YouTube has that facility for now. If anybody knows that, you can share with me, but since I do YouTube live, I haven't seen that you can share screen. So that doesn't happen. I'm looking at the menu here. It doesn't look like you can share screen, and I hope that YouTube works on this. I would also even want to be seeing your videos, and also to interact with you live, to have you calling, but I don't think that YouTube has that facility at the moment. Okay. Okay. I'm not sure what this person talking about watermelon is doing here, but we do have some widows sometimes coming here, so let me get rid of that. Okay. All right, so what were your aha moments today? Type in the comment section, and then I'll be able to read a couple of that. And I have decided that we're going to start the daily thing again, because I see a lot of people are struggling in this season. A lot of people are struggling financially, so people need encouragement, and I really need to tell you that it doesn't matter what's going on. You know, you can do, you'll be okay. Yes, Ikemobi Ajolo says, okay, you bought 1 million shares of UPDC already at 7:30, but I will average down tomorrow. Very good. Yeah, very, very good. Then what you can do, you can also wait a little bit. Wait till Friday. So sometimes the market, you get some really very good bargains at the market. It looks to me like the market is still dipping. I'm looking at let me look at the candle for UPDC here. Okay, there's actually a downward trend. So it's very likely that it will still come back to a support level that is lower than where it is right now. So just watch it tomorrow. Watch it tomorrow. Whether it goes a little bit more down from 6 naira 80 kobo, chances are that it will, from the candle I'm seeing here. Okay, there is a support level that it looks like it's trying to find a support level that is lower than 6 naira 80 kobo. So please just wait a little bit. Let's see how the market moves to Friday, so that you can actually get at you know, a lower you can get at a lower a good bargain. But then of course, if you don't mind, it's still okay to keep averaging down. As it comes down, you buy more and all that. Okay, tomorrow is too late to gain extra knowledge. What do you think about charm, sir? Charm is a gem. Charm is a gem. Charms is a gem. Anytime, any day. Yeah, go get charm. If you can also get tip. Tip is on my watch list. Charm is also on that watch list, this November watch list. So yeah, so that's a very good one. Anytime, any day. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, thank you. We're about 7 minutes past the hour, and you know, so it's been a good evening with you. And tomorrow we will continue. We will continue this journey tomorrow, and same time. So whatever happens, guys, keep showing up. It's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. We are going to smile. We are going to be wealthy, and we are all going to be purposeful. Keep showing up, because you never know what's coming your way next. See you same time tomorrow. Good night.